All right, welcome to episode 2 of A View from the Drive-Thru podcast. My name is Cole, once again joined by Jason, Andrew, and Tony. Good to be back, boys. It was a solid first week of a podcast, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, we record-breaking viewership.
Yeah. Thank you to all our audience. That was the highest rated episode ever of A View from the Drive-Thru podcast. Let's see if we can break that record again this week. Coming up on tonight's show, we're gonna go over the news first. A little bit of less news this week than last week. Fewer debuting items as well. Then we're gonna get into the fast food reviews with items from Burger King, KFC, Arby's, and Roy Rogers being reviewed. And then at the end, we'll be doing our top 5 fries. But we're just gonna go ahead and get started with the news right away. And the biggest news this week was the Market Force Information Survey. This is a yearly survey that comes out where people are polled about their preference in fast food chains, and they're asked questions to measure their satisfaction with food quality, service, value, restaurant experience, among other things. So what they found was people's favorite fast food places and their least favorite fast food places. And so I just kind of wanted to go through some of these and get your guys' take on it. The first category is burger. So the top three burger restaurants will be In-N-Out, Five Guys, and Smash Burger. And the bottom 3 are Carl's Jr.'s, Burger King, and McDonald's. Now the first thing that jumps out at me is that there seems to be a pretty big preference in favor of sort of the fast casual style, the more upscale burger places compared to your traditional fast food restaurants.
Right. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's a trend we're going to see throughout this list, and that's sort of a trend with how the fast food industry is going. People kind of want something a little more upscale. You even see it, at the traditional, McDonald's, what was it, like the Clubhouse burger.
Right.
They're trying to be a little more upscale.
Forgot about that Bacon Clubhouse. That Bacon Clubhouse was a good burger.
It was.
It was a good burger.
I think a lot of this has to do with the connotation of McDonald's being bad, though. I think a lot of people I don't know who exactly they surveyed, but if someone doesn't eat fast food that much, they might just have the idea in their head, oh, McDonald's bad, these higher class places good.
That's also true, but I do have to say, because while we know that McDonald's or Burger King, they're going to have a much lower quality burger, sometimes you're looking for that taste. So they taste different, almost unique in their own way, that even if it's worse, it's something that you're going to definitely want every once in a while. There are times where I'd say, oh, I don't want Five Guys right now. I do want a nice, gross McDouble. And, sometimes it's what you want.
And looking at what they surveyed, they had a composite loyalty index. It included things such as value and speed, which you'd get at McDonald's and not Five Guys. So people must not have really valued it that high as compared to taste or the idea of freshness.
Right. True.
Yeah. And then if we move on to the Mexican category, we have Chipotle, Moe's, and El Pollo Loco as the top 3, Del Taco, Taco John's, and the place that got number 1 on our restaurant power rankings last week, Taco Bell.
I gotta say, I'm furious.
That's a disgrace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Taco
Bell's good for one thing, right? They do their. I'm sorry. Chipotle is good for one thing. They do their burritos and burrito bowls. It doesn't change when you go to Chipotle. Taco Bell is innovating in the industry. They're innovating on Mexican food and fast food. I think the people who did this list might have a bit of a bias towards fast food restaurants. I mean, it seems like these people tend to prefer the things that are closer to a casual sit-down restaurant than a fast food restaurant.
To be fair, however, I think that Taco Bell probably suffers the same artificial lowering that we were just discussing with McDonald's and Burger King versus Five Guys.
I agree.
They have the perception of decreased value or decreased quality over the other places, which I think is fair. But to rank it lower, I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, I do remember reading not too long ago when Chipotle had their whole E. coli scare and no one was going to Chipotle anymore. Taco Bell actually was the most visited, quote unquote, Mexican inspired restaurant out there, or people voted it their favorite once Chipotle was no longer in the picture because everyone was, not going. So yeah, I mean,
That's a
that
good
was
point.
that was quite some time ago. It was about a year ago, so things change.
I
Right.
also take issue with the fact that, I mean, where are we drawing the line for these fast food restaurants now? I mean, it's clear that they have a wider definition of a fast food restaurant than we took for our list. But I mean, Chipotle doesn't have a drive-through. It's almost not fast food. It's a counter order. It's not a sit-down restaurant where you place your order, but I have a
Right.
little issue with the list.
It's like
food
calling a
industry.
deli fast food.
Right,
You
exactly.
just go to the counter, order your sandwich.
I mean,
Right.
again, we're still we haven't even had this proper debate yet as to what we consider fast
Right.
food. You could take it
I mean,
literally.
the word
in-
fast food implies just getting your food fast.
Correct.
Which you do at Chipotle.
Correct.
Yes.
So
Well,
again,
but-
I think this is a debate for another time, but it's going to be a theme that comes up a lot in our discussions.
Right. You kind of say, I had Taco Bell earlier today, and when you talk about value, there is no restaurant that is better value than Taco
Absolutely.
Bell. I had their cravings deal, the $5 cravings deal today. You get a taco, a burrito, a cheesy gordita crunch, which I think we can all agree is one of Taco Bell's most premium items. You get chips and cheese, and you get a beverage for $5.
Yeah,
That's insane value.
It's about the best deal in food right now.
I would agree.
The
And not
best
even
deal
in
in
like
food.
it's just the best deal in food right now. I don't think you could buy
You will not
the
eat
same-
Taco Bell every day.
Essentially.
I think you could essentially eat that $5 cravings deal for the cost of what a normal meal is to cook. It's getting to the point where that value is just absurd.
They're practically giving you the food for free.
Essentially, yeah.
The $5 is just a gift
Yeah.
for their generosity.
Donation.
All right, so in the pizza category, the top three are all three places that I've never had. I don't know about you guys. So it's Marco's, Papa Murphy's, and Pizza Ranch. Have you?
No,
any-
I've not
I've
had
heard
any
of
those three.
Marco's, but that's about it.
I've heard of Papa Murphy's, but I haven't heard of the other ones.
None.
No.
Where are
And
these
then the
places
bottom
located?
three, I didn't look that up. The bottom three are Pizza Hut, Little Caesars, and Cece's. Personally, I'm a big Pizza Hut fan. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite. Just
I agree.
chain pizza places. I'm just a big Pizza Hut fan. Get the breadsticks, the sauce. It's all good.
The specialized crusts that you can get at Pizza Hut too, they have so many different options, and it's not any extra to specialize your crust, so that's also really nice.
And I feel like Pizza Hut was one of the first places to do the order online thing. And when you ordered online, you could do the add extra sauce, which I like to do. I like some extra sauce on my pizza. So I always respect Pizza Hut for that.
And this might not be
But
fair,
you could have
but
added extra sauce when you called them as well.
No, but I'm just saying I think they were one of the first ones to do the online ordering.
Okay.
and this might not be fair, but Pizza Hut has that team with Wing Street where you can order the wings through them as well. And that I like a lot because for me the essentials for a pizza night are pizza and wings. So having it both in the same place, and the Wing Street wings are pretty good. Their buffalo style is pretty good, and so Pizza Hut has the +1 for me on that.
Yeah, and as someone who knows a lot about ordering for Pizza Hut, they send out deals when you're on their sign-up list, a good amount. So a little trick,
Daily.
if you have multiple emails, essentially they have like a deal where it's like, okay, you get a random amount of percent off, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I have multiple emails signed up because at one point they had a promotion, I think they still do, where if you signed up, you got free cheese sticks. So I'm like, okay, I'll just use all my emails and get free cheese sticks each time.
Wow, genius.
So whenever they have that promotion, because I have multiple emails, I get at least 50% off each time. And getting 50% off both pizza and wings is fantastic.
Yes.
That's pretty
Also,
good.
looking at what they had, other lower ranked pizza chains, Little Caesars and CC's both fill that niche budget role. So once again, it's like we're just repeating ourselves, but that's like budget over quality, and people
Right.
wanted
Yeah.
quality in this poll.
Yeah,
Like
that's
CC's
true.
has that like all-you-can-eat buffet, which pizza as well
Right.
during lunch only. Little Caesars has $5 pizzas. That's a big thing, like hot and ready. Like,
and
I've had
ready.
Little Caesars. I don't think it's that bad, but it's definitely quality is below.
It's fine.
But yeah, I mean it's pizza. I mean, like, if your pizza is like so bad it's inedible, you're not going to stay open. And
Yeah.
I believe Little Caesars is like the biggest pizza chain, like maybe in the world. Like when you talk about
Yeah,
global.
it might be. Their
because they have
founder
so many,
just
like,
died, so
restaurants.
we're hearing a lot of facts about it.
Oh, I didn't know that. R.I.P.
Mike Ilitch. Yeah. Owned the Tigers and the Red Wings. Oh, but anyway. Moving on to chicken. I'm sorry to break that news to you, Jason,
Wow.
like 2 weeks later. Chicken, top 2 are Chick-fil-A and Raising Cane's. I know Chick-fil-A is kind of the opposite of. Well, okay, the thing about Chick-fil-A is it's in this sort of the same class of like Burger King, McDonald's in terms of like it's a traditional fast food place, but it has a much higher perceived quality.
Right.
Yes.
Right. My issue is I don't count Chick-fil-A as like a chicken place, as weird as that sounds. Like when I think of
Yeah.
a chicken place, I think of like getting like hand pieces of fried chicken. That's what
Yeah,
every other
I agree
restaurant
with
here
that.
has.
That's
Like this
true.
is just sandwiches. Like I wouldn't put it in this category. It's kind of like its own thing. I'd put it on like par with something like Wendy's, where you have to have like the sandwich fast food restaurants, not like
Yeah.
the chicken ones.
Right.
That's true. I mean,
I don't think
it
it should be
well,
this category.
right.
at all.
I think
What do
they
you think
do
about
only
chicken?
do chicken. They don't do burgers. They don't do
Yeah.
other sandwiches. So
But
So
every
if-
other restaurant is just like it's individual pieces of chicken and sandwiches. I think the individual chicken, like you don't go to Popeyes and like you think Popeyes, you think like a bucket of chicken. You think KFC, you think a bucket of chicken. You can't get a bucket of Chick-fil-A unless maybe you can ask. I don't know.
But it's still not fried chicken. It's just chicken fingers. It's
right.
still not
you
the
just
same
have chicken
thing.
pasta.
It's
Yeah.
not, it's not chicken breast or thigh or anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
The bottom 3 in this category was Popeyes, Churches, and KFC. I have a big
Wow.
problem with Popeyes being down there.
me too.
I wish
Popeyes
we
is
could
good.
see
Popeyes.
the middle entries. Like
Yeah,
how many entries were in the middle?
I couldn't actually find the actual survey anywhere. It was just news articles about the survey. And I guess the last category we have sandwiches. There was 4 listed at the top of this one: Firehouse Subs, Panera, McAllister's Deli, Jersey Mike's. In the bottom 3, Jimmy John's, Subway, and Arby's, which we don't really think of Arby's in this category.
No, that's
That's
very
so
strange.
weird.
But I guess it does
Very
kind of
odd.
make sense in the sandwich that where
They
else?
don't serve like burgers.
Yeah, they don't serve burgers. They don't serve chicken. Like
I guess that's true.
they
Yeah.
fit the best in this category.
I guess that's true.
Still though, like I just think they have like the most popular, the largest restaurants at the bottom of every list.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is what people said. This is what people surveyed responded.
Yeah, I guess people
So-
are heavily weighing towards perceived quality as their.
do we know
Yeah.
who
Towards their
hosted the
favorite.
survey?
Yeah, it was. They've done this. I think it's like the 5th year they've done this. This is Market Force Information. This is from 11,000 people they surveyed. Responses from.
Or like 11,000 idiots. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Got him.
So, anything else about this list before we move on to the debuting items?
I think it's a flawed ranking system, but there's no way to know without having insights of exactly what their loyalty composite ranking means.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So this week in debuting items, first we have McDonald's. They are testing new buttermilk crispy chicken tenders, and these are right now only in Charlotte, North Carolina. The interesting thing reading about sort of in the release is they're going for more of what I would call like a real chicken, in that there's no artificial flavors, colors, preservatives, or MSG. So that was the first thing that kind of jumped out at me, is that I think, as we mentioned, McDonald's seems to have a low perceived quality. That's something that people might like.
Yeah, because the big deal with McDonald's was the whole pink slime thing.
Yeah.
Right.
People saw that, like, oh, this stuff
pink
is so
slime
fake.
thing.
Like there's been so many like urban legends about McDonald's chicken over the years that they kind of need to. A rebranding in that category wouldn't be the worst thing for them.
Yeah, but the thing is, they just buy their chicken from a manufacturer like anyone else.
Right.
The reality is there's nothing different.
But they're the ones with the branding problem.
Right, and it's the perception. At this point, as we saw with this list, McDonald's is at the bottom of people's opinions in terms of food quality. So, I mean, honestly, they have that fast food cliche market locked down pretty hard. I don't see any risk really in them trying to open up and get a higher class market, essentially.
I think as of pretty recently, McDonald's has tried to go through a pretty substantial rebranding. When you walk into a McDonald's nowadays, they're actually pretty nice, and
yes,
their menus are very slimmed down now too, and they're just trying to be straightforward and stuff. And I think that as recently, since a lot of that bad news came out about their chicken, it's been through some changes.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing to me about this release is they also said it's going to be debuting a signature sauce with these chicken, and the signature sauce is slightly tangy and sweet, which to me sounds like they might be trying to make like their own Chick-fil-A style sauce, because that's very popular,
right.
Chick-fil-A sauce. So this might be their attempt to rival that.
Well, I didn't even know about that. That's exciting.
That description kind of leads me to believe it's something similar to like a sweet and sour almost.
Maybe.
It'd be interesting to see.
Did anyone here have the buttermilk chicken when it was the buttermilk chicken sandwich by any chance?
I did.
I did as well.
I got a
What was
coupon
your
for
thoughts?
I was kind of underwhelmed by it.
it. Yeah. It was a while ago. It's hard to say what I actually remember about it, but in general, yeah, it was a good sandwich. The issue for me was it was during a time when I wasn't going to be spending money at McDonald's. I was pretty locked into the dollar menu, and unless I had that coupon, I wasn't going back for the chicken.
Right. It just sounds like, if you don't remember, it just wasn't memorable. Like when something like the Chick Star, that was around for a few weeks, but
Wow, that's true.
I remember my first bite of that bad boy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no. I don't really remember anything about the sandwich other than I was like slightly disappointed. But I don't really remember why.
Interesting.
That's kind of my recollection of it.
I like the idea though. Buttermilk to me sounds like a really good chicken batter to be frying chicken in. Like that makes me excited. That word makes me excited. So
Have you ever had just like pure buttermilk?
Yes.
No, I have no idea what that is.
It's terrible. It's so bad. Just straight buttermilk is so bad.
Yeah, I ordered it in a restaurant because like, man, buttermilk, what's that? Ordered it, I thought it was supposed to be like sweet milk, but oh
No,
god,
it's so sour. It's
yeah,
so
it was
bad.
disgusting. I don't know why it was served as okay, I know why. It was served as a beverage when I was in Amsterdam, and like people were drinking it willy nilly. I'm like, man, this seems good. Like, I think buttermilk, I think like butter beer. I think, man, this is gonna be good, and then it wasn't. It wasn't.
Like I remember when I was like 13 or so. I had some friends over, and my dad had some buttermilk for some reason, and he was like, "Oh, I bet none of you guys will try this." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll try it. No big deal." And I took like a gulp of it, and it was disgusting. So bad. But buttermilk chicken is better. I'll say that.
Yes, I think it works well as a batter.
And to somehow segue into the chicken being better.
Yeah, no. Hope you can't be worse than just plain buttermilk.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Moving on to Subway. They have a new Italian hero. This is different than what they usually have, the Italian BMT and the spicy Italian. I don't know. This one doesn't really get me too excited because it's just kind of like an Italian sub, which you can get at any sub place or restaurant or Subway.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but whenever I get like the BMT or the spicy Italian, it all just has like the Italian sub taste.
Yeah, it's
like
the
it's not like
exact
anything
same.
special. So I don't
They
care
have
if
two
they're
Italian subs.
if they change one of the meats for a meat that tastes probably the same. Also, fun fact about Subway is all their meats are pretty much just turkey based. So their salami is turkey salami, their ham is turkey ham. So you're just eating a bunch of turkey.
Wow.
That's not too bad. I find myself getting a lot of Subway. I like the $6 subs, and it feels healthier than some other fast foods. I know, but it feels like it is. And yeah, exactly, perception. And so, but for me, essentially, I get whichever one's on sale, the Italian BMT or the spicy Italian, because they're the exact same to me. I've never been able to tell the difference. So,
yeah, before they had their like all sub $6, I'd go to Subway and then look at their sub of the day and usually get that.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Essentially, it chose for me if I was being picky and didn't want to choose.
So I'm not really excited about this.
Yeah, it's just underwhelming. Like, who cares?
All right. So the last debuting item we're going to talk about is from a place, I don't know, have any of you guys ever been to Wiener Schnitzel?
I have not.
No, honestly,
I've
never even heard of it.
Schnitzel.
Wiener Schnitzel?
I've actually never even heard of it.
No, I've never been to it because I've never even seen one. But just looking at the three items they have, the new ones are a green chili cheese dog, a blazing teriyaki pineapple dog, and a Chicago dog. My question is, how are you a hot dog place and don't have a Chicago dog already on the menu?
That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
One of the most popular hot dog
Yes,
combinations.
that's what you order when you go to a hot dog place. You order Chicago dog. What else did they have? They don't have that.
And
dog with ketchup?
The green chili cheese dog is just a chili dog with some green chili on top. So it's
the only interesting thing is the blazing teriyaki pineapple dog.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I could probably appreciate a pineapple hot dog. That sounds great.
Is this a foreign company? Is that why maybe they don't have the Chicago?
No, they haven't. I've heard of it.
They have a bunch of locations in California and Arizona, Texas.
Huh.
Yeah, it's an American chain. Der Wiener Schnitzel specializes in hot dogs. Mostly California, Texas, also in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Louisiana, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, Washington. So it's entirely West Coast except for Illinois.
You know what? My coworker was talking about them.
If you go to their menu, they already have a Chicago dog on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's an
hold on.
upgrade.
It says right here, from the regular menu, there's the Chicago dog. So this article is just throwing out the Chicago dog as another version.
Oh, because they're promoting the hot dogs around the USA thing. So
Oh. Okay, that makes more sense. So they're not really unveiling 3 new items.
So there's 2 new hot dogs and one that just fit into this category. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Solved that one, thankfully.
I can't really think about hot dog places. I've been to a Nathan's once, but that's about it. It's not many hot dog restaurants.
No, there aren't.
There was the one that was under
Wings and
review,
Dogs.
but I never went there before it closed. It was just always closed.
There's Frank's. I've been to that once. But
I just personally,
hot dog is a very
hot dogs. I don't think a hot dog is
it's
something
an
you want to get.
underutilized market.
I guess.
There's a market deficiency of hot dog restaurants.
I think there's a reason.
I agree. I think there's a reason.
I don't think
That's
of a hot
too
dog as a meal item. It's more of I'm at a baseball game or a sporting event.
Yeah, I don't really think of. I've never really been man, I really wish I had a hot dog right now.
Outdoor barbecue.
Yeah, it's more like hot dog stand food.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. So that's going to about do it for the debuting items section of the podcast. Now we're going to move on to the reviews, and we have a natural transition here to Andrew because he tried the chili cheese hot dog from Burger King. So
that is what I ate that earlier today, and I've got some pretty strong opinions on it. I mean, normally I'm not really a fan of hot dogs, like I was saying. I rarely even get hot dogs anymore, even if I'm at, let's say, a ball game or something like that. I don't even get them anymore because I just don't really like them. But I figured I would try it because it's something that none of us really have tried yet, right? Have you guys tried hot dogs from Burger King at all?
I've not tried it.
Never had it.
So yeah, I went for it, and I gotta say also, I'm not really normally a fan of chili either. I mean, I like chili, but I don't really eat it too often. But I gotta say the chili was actually really good on it. But the hot dog itself was, it was a hot dog. It was nothing special. Tastes exactly like any other hot dog you've ever had. And if they put that chili on a burger, then I would definitely be on top of that. That sounds great. But
that's a good idea.
the dog itself was not very good. To be honest, I actually didn't even finish it.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I was just like not feeling the hot dog. So I was like, yeah. It was only $2. I ate like 3/4 of it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling this hot dog. So.
Did you scrape the chili onto your backup burger? Because I know you got it.
Oh my God, how did I not do that? I'm sorry. I should have done that. That was genius. But I did have a backup burger, of course. You can't go. I knew I wasn't gonna like it. That was the thing. I took one for the team.
Wow. Well. Scathing review from Andrew. Went in knowing he wasn't gonna like it.
I've only seen pictures of these hot dogs, but they've looked really bad.
I opened the box and I was like, oh, I don't even want to combine this.
I think it's very hard to make a chili cheese hot dog look good.
That's true. That is true.
In picture form.
It had a lot more chili than I was expecting, though, so that was kind of nice.
How was the bun?
Mediocre. It honestly wasn't even that good either.
To me, the buns are what make or break a good hot dog.
It's true. It was basically just the exact same.
It was
basically the exact same bun as the burger without sesame seeds.
Got it.
Wasn't like a potato roll or anything special. Just a bun.
Mm.
Okay. So Tony, you went to Roy Rogers. Want to tell us what you got there?
That is correct. So I had the Roy Rogers Double R Bar Burger. I think it's their flagship item. It's not number one on the menu, but when you go online, it's the first item you see. I gotta say, right off the bat, how is Roy Rogers still in business? They don't have anyone at their restaurants ever. And this was a big feature of last episode. But specifically, a lot of the new or not new, but a lot of the fast food places that I've been going to recently have been upgrading their drive-thrus to have the screens that show you what you're getting and all that. This Roy Rogers had the OG, back from whenever they opened this freaking place. They had that drive-through system, and I could barely understand the employee who was trying to talk to me. So they clearly don't have the money to upgrade, so I guess they're just kind of skating by. But regardless,
hold on. Can I interrupt you for 1 second? I have to say,
yeah,
Roy Rogers. I see a lot of Roy Rogers in rest stops along highways, or at least
Same.
there's a So
that's the only time I've seen one.
And
it's perfect there.
But
there's some on the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
And there's a bunch on the Jersey Turnpike, and they always have a lot of people at them there because they're like the only burger joint there. So I've been forced to get Roy Rogers there. But the thing is, Roy Rogers, I've been to a Roy Rogers before that was not in a rest stop, and they did not have curly fries. But when they are in the rest stop, they do have curly fries every time I've been. So I do like Roy Rogers sometimes, and especially I have to give him a shout out for throwing in free toppings that you can add afterwards. You can just grab as much lettuce or tomato, onions, and stuff that you want, which is pretty nice.
Interesting. So maybe I should have gone in. Well, regardless, this Roy Rogers was not at a rest stop, and here's my issue with that is there's almost always something else at a rest stop other than Roy Rogers. Whatever. This was the first time I had ever been to a Roy Rogers. I actually didn't have any idea what kind of menu items they had going in. So I'm sorry, I'm skating around the point. The double bar burger, it was a really good sandwich in my opinion. It's a burger with roast beef on top, and it's essentially an Arby's roast beef sandwich. It's got the same buttery bun as the Arby's roast beef sandwich. The roast beef was, I could hardly tell the difference between it and Arby's roast beef, honestly. And then the burger itself was a good fast food burger. It was a burger that I felt like I hadn't had before at a fast food restaurant. I mean, it was the same, the quality was similar, but the flavor was actually significantly different. And in that sense, it made for a really good burger. I had a couple issues. Well, not necessarily issues. Well, first I'll start off with the comments. Fries, they were essentially BK fries. So I heard you say that a lot of times at the rest stops they have the curly fries.
Yep.
That would have been nice. I would have loved to have some curly fries. I got some straight fries, which is fine, and I liked them. And they were essentially the same as BK fries. They had a little bit of a different flavor, and I think it obviously had to do with the fryer being a little different. But they were good fries. The issue is, and this goes back to I don't know how they're still in business. It was $8 for the sandwich.
Yeah.
Well, it was $8 for the sandwich meal, which came with fries and a drink. But for just the sandwich, it was almost $6. It was $5 and change, which it's too much for a sandwich that's essentially, it didn't have toppings on it, which if I had known that you have to order them extra, maybe I'd have gone in for this one or, asked them to add lettuce and tomato and stuff on it. But it was essentially almost a dollar menu size sandwich for $5. And so, I don't know. I liked the flavor. It was good. It was interesting. I don't know about you guys, but I've never had roast beef on a burger. And so in that sense, it was something I'm glad I had. But like my Arby's review last time, I'm not going to be getting that probably ever again.
Okay. All right. So
some disappointing reviews
this
time,
week,
boys.
Well, I think my review is going to be a bit more positive coming up here.
All right, good.
So,
I'm excited.
I went to KFC to try the Georgia Gold chicken. I've been seeing a lot of the commercials, with the gold kernel, and I was like, you know what, I think I'll give that a try. So there's 3 different ways you can get this. You can get it like the traditional chicken, like the thighs and breasts and wing and that stuff. You can get tenders, or you can get a sandwich. And I went with the tenders option, and it also comes with biscuit and coleslaw, but I substituted the coleslaw for the fries because I don't really like coleslaw. So, what is the Georgia Gold? Well, it's kind of like a sweet honey barbecue sauce with a little bit of spice. It kind of just lingers there. The flavor was not overwhelming, which I liked because sometimes when you get like wings or chicken, it can get too saucy and the sauce sort of overwhelms the meat, and this wasn't really the case. I really liked the breading on it. It was a nice, good, crisp breading with a little bit of crunch. It was a solid breading. They put like pickles on top of it, which I didn't really matter here or there. Occasionally you would get a bite and it was like, oh, there's a little bit of pickle taste in there, but they were like super thin pickles that didn't really taste like anything special. So whatever on the pickles. So what I did like is, so I got this to go, and some of the sauce sort of pulled up at the bottom of the container, and you could dip fries or the biscuit in there to soak up some of that extra sauce,
That's nice.
which was pretty nice. And yeah, I think this was a pretty solid experience. It's something, if I was ever at KFC again, I would consider getting.
So is this? I'm sorry, I got a question. Is this a finger food? Would you say, or did you have to eat this with a fork?
No, so it was a finger food. The sauce was not particularly. It was a very light sauce that wasn't overwhelming. You could eat it with just your fingers.
Would you eat it while you were driving?
Yeah, I think you could eat it while you were driving.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So,
It's not like eating wings.
Yeah.
No, it's not like eating wings.
That was my
concern.
You could try harder though.
That was my concern going into it. It would be like wings, where once you put your hand on it, your fingers would be covered in sauce, and that's not
Right.
the case here. That wasn't the case with this. The sauce stuck to the breading very well. At least the one I had. I don't know, maybe someplace else they put more sauce on, but
Interesting. See, I didn't know any of that about this.
Yeah, I kind of want to try this now.
Yeah.
oh, you hear that, KFC? Maybe you should sponsor us because I'm selling you product.
Peddling chicken.
All right. And for our final review, Jason went to Arby's.
Yeah, I went to Arby's and I had the King Hawaiian Fish Deluxe. Now, I just want to ask you, when you think King Hawaiian Fish Deluxe, what do you think's going to be on this sandwich?
Probably pineapple.
Yeah, something sweet.
Yeah.
No pineapple. Okay, so I assumed it'd be pineapple, but the only reason it's called the King Hawaiian is because it has a King Hawaiian bun, which is essentially a slightly sweet bun, kind of like a French brioche bun.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really overpowering. Other than that, it's just a standard sandwich of fish fillet made out of Alaskan pollock. Pretty much every fish sandwich from a fast food restaurant is made of Alaskan pollock, unless said otherwise. Cheese, tomatoes, lettuce, and tartar sauce. So it's kind of underwhelming in the sense that I hear King's Hawaiian Deluxe.
Yeah,
I think
all
I'm getting
those
like the
words.
greatest fish sandwich ever created, and it's just a standard fish sandwich. Now that's not to say it wasn't bad.
It wasn't
my
bad?
one, what?
No, go ahead.
Okay, my one complaint was, I don't even want to call it a complaint, is that it was very messy. They kind of just slathered it with tartar sauce. I think it just poured an entire bottle on the thing. Now, I like tartar sauce, so that wasn't a big deal for me, but going back to the whole driving thing, I won't eat this in a car, even if you're just standing still, because it just, my hands were just covered with sauce afterwards.
Wow.
I took the napkins they gave me. They only gave me a few napkins, and it wasn't even enough. Other than that, it was pretty good sandwich. Like, one thing I noticed was when you look at something like the fish fillet, it kind of looked, I mean, the fillet of fish, sorry. It looks kind of artificial in that it's just like a square of fish. This one was kind of shaped like normal fish, I guess, a normal fish sandwich you get in a restaurant. Like, I know it's not the case that it's probably just the same exact process as the fillet of fish, and they just put it like in a mold, like any fish sandwich. But it made it feel like it was higher quality, even though it wasn't. So it was a good sandwich. If I wanted a fish sandwich, which I do want occasionally, and there's an Arby's next to a McDonald's, I'd go to Arby's and get one of these. I'm kind of curious because they also had like a whole menu of fish sandwiches for Lent. I'm kind of curious how the other ones are, if there's anything different, because well, they're all the same thing where they're just a normal fish sandwich with a fancy name. Like, it was disappointing when I found out that it wasn't anything special, but it still is a good sandwich.
I was curious if you thought this was a competitor for the fillet of fish in terms of being the Lent sandwich. But it
I think every sandwich is a competitor for the fillet of fish. Like, I think.
I mean, how long has Arby's been selling this item?
Not this one in particular, but they've had fish sandwiches. Like, my thing is that this is just their normal fish sandwich with a different bun. Like, if the bun was their normal bun, I wouldn't have been like, man, this sandwich is so much worse.
Right.
It would just still be a good sandwich.
All right, how many others were there? Do you remember how many
There were
different ones
three
they
of
had?
these like deluxe sandwiches, I believe, and then they have other fish sandwiches on like a 2 for $5 menu. They were like some of them were flatbread fish sandwiches.
Interesting, flatbread bread.
Yeah, like their menu right now is just has a pretty big fish section for Lent, which I don't know if
Okay,
that started yet.
Yeah,
No,
it did.
yeah,
I believe it has.
it has.
Yes.
Okay.
We're in the middle of it.
What now?
All right. Um, is anything else to add there? Or is that about it?
No?
I've got no questions.
All right. So that's going to about do it for the review segment. Now we're going to move into our rankings. And this week we ranked fries. So we did our top 10 list compiled into a group top 5. So let's start it off. So numbers. So I'll just say up front, there was a clear number 1. And then 2, 3, 4, and 5 were extremely close in our ranking system. Only 1 point separated 5 from the tie that would happen at 3 between 3 and 4, and then 1 point above them was second place. So only 2 points separated these 4
Wow.
fries at the back of the list here. So number 5 is McDonald's, and this is kind of similar to our list from last week. If you remember, McDonald's was a number 5 restaurant because it kind of came in at the middle of all of our lists, and that's what happened this week with McDonald's fries, where it finished ranked 6th, 5th, 5th, and 4th. So it was just kind of like a solid middle fry in all of our opinion.
I ranked mine so highly because of what was mentioned last week. McDonald's is the iconic fry. It's part of their brand was built on their fries. So I think it kind of gets a boost in my opinion from that.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. But when I started objectively looking at a list, well, I thought I would have probably ranked McDonald's fries like close to the top. But then when I started really thinking about the list objectively, I kind of had to put them down a little bit.
Yeah, there's essentially a good, not great fry.
Yeah.
It's a very solid fry, but there's a couple of that I prefer just for various reasons that we'll be getting to shortly.
Right.
So we had a tie at 3 between. I'll say Burger King first was the first. And the interesting thing about Burger King in our rankings was it finished 3rd in Andrew's list, 3rd in my list, 3rd in Tony's list, but it finished 10th in Jason's. So Jason was our dissenter on Burger King.
I just don't think it's that great of a fry. Like I've never had Burger King fries, so like, man, what a good fry. I just think like, oh, Burger King fries. It's with my meal. It's a standard fry.
I don't know. I think when we were briefly discussed earlier this week when we were talking about it, and we said we will rank their fries at the best. And today I went to Burger King to have my chili cheese dog, and I got fries, and they were phenomenal. And you know what? I like the fact that they remain crispy, but they're thick when they're at their best. They're still crispy, but they're nice and thick. So you get a lot of potato. It's good. I don't know. I think they're a great fry.
I guess I still have that opinion where I think they're phenomenal at their best. I think they're all right at their best, and they're bad at their worst.
I've always liked Burger King's fries. The flavor for me has always been I've always placed it above McDonald's. Um, I like the fact that they're really salty, and I also even like them cold. I think Burger King's fries are good cold. Um, so Burger King has always been a top fry for me. Like when you say what's the best fries, and you can only think of Burger King and McDonald's because they're the only two at the top of your head. Burger King was always number 1 on that list. too. But
Yeah, I agree. I don't really know like what exactly it is that separates like Burger King and McDonald's from me, but just something that I just think Burger King's a little bit better.
right.
And it's hard to describe, but so the other one that finished tied for third, the other restaurant was Wendy's. Now, for Burger King, we had Jason as the dissenter. For Wendy's, me, Andrew, and Jason all had Wendy's at 4, and Tony had them lower down his list. So, Tony.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember what these fries taste like. So
Wow.
I couldn't really rank them that high just because they're not in the forefront of my memory. It's an underwhelming reason to rank them so lowly, but
I think I've had them before.
yeah, I've had them. I know that, and I definitely didn't hate them. That's for sure. So they made it onto my list.
So I that's what they're gonna say. Is I was trying to think. Not that many places like serve fries. Like a lot of places serve fries, but coming up with 10 was tough.
Yeah, it was hard.
I mean, like if you go to someplace like Taco Bell, you're not getting fries, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's not only just you have to have a repertoire of more than 10 fast food restaurants you frequent.
Right.
Yeah, once we got to the back end of the list, it was kind of difficult to figure out those last couple spots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So like at 9, I had Hardee's, and I've only been to Hardee's like a few times, and that's when I just see one and I'm hungry on a road trip. But I just remember their fries being decent, so that's why they're on my list.
So, yeah, like I know I've been to Hardee's, but I have no idea like what their fries taste like. Like I just have no memory of them.
Yep.
They've left no
Yeah.
impression.
But I was at one like last month, so it's kind of fresh in my mind.
There
So
you go.
I thought I had the authority to rank it on my list.
There you
All right. Number 2 on the list is Five Guys. Now, the interesting thing about Five Guys in our rankings, there's a lot of interesting things about these rankings, I have to say.
go. Yeah.
So for Five Guys, we had 2 people that ranked Five Guys as their number 2 overall fry, and 2 people that ranked it as their number 7 overall fry. So me and Andrew were the centers here. I'll go first, just saying why Five Guys ranked a bit lower for me. It's just I feel like sometimes their fries can be a bit like soggy in a way. Like they're so
Yep, I agree.
oily
Yeah, they're
that
so greasy.
they get mushy.
Yeah.
And I don't like that as much in a fry.
No.
I prefer a bit crisper fry.
I have to agree with that. The thing I do like about their fries is it's nice that they're like, oh, today our potatoes are from this place. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Someplace in Idaho.
They've got bags of potatoes right there. They're gonna make the fries out of those potatoes. That's great. I love it. That's basically my extent of what I like about Five Guys fries.
And
I think they're fine.
I like how
you
they
know.
just like pour them into the bag.
Yeah,
You
you
can just
get a
reach
shit
in
ton
and
of
grab
them,
one.
and
I like
you go
that-
to Five Guys.
I like that
you
they're like
feed,
well
you can
done.
feed Africa for weeks with a bag of Five Guys fries, and it's like that's nice. So you just hand out the fries to people. It's like I'm not gonna eat all these fries. Please take them away from me, and that's good. I do like that about Five Guys, but again,
The amount of fries you get in the bag, the peanut oil, it's just they're good fries. And if you want them crispy, I mean, you can be picky about which fries you get. There's some smaller ones in there that are crispy, but like Five Guys fries they're a fry that whole bag of fries I have a hard time stopping myself from eating, even though it's far too much.
Like you go to Five Guys, you get your fries, and they have like their Heinz vinegar. I think the fry they have there
Oh, yeah.
goes well with that.
Yep,
Like you don't necessarily need a crispy fry for that.
right.
I've
think it's-
never had them with vinegar. It's not really my thing.
Well, you're wrong.
wow, what a
Okay.
quotation.
I've only done the vinegar a couple times. I tend to prefer the ketchup, but the vinegar is good when I've had
I mean, you
it.
can do both. You can be double fisting
Yeah.
your fries.
Wow, that's
True.
I'll give it a try next time. Just get a little cup of vinegar on the side, just to
There
test
you go,
it out.
exactly.
See what I'm missing out on. All right, and number 1. So last week we almost had a unanimous number 1. and,
honestly, I'm surprised to see this, but
this week we did have a unanimous number 1. So our first 2 lists have been pretty anticlimactic at the top. There's been not a lot of debate. But it is Arby's with a clean sweep coming in number one in all of our list. So, Jason, you went to Arby's for your review, so you can go first for Arby's. Why they come in at number one for you?
Okay. I just love curly fries to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And what other fast food restaurant serves curly fries?
Yep. That's pretty much the determining factor.
Yeah.
Like they're crispy, they're delicious.
They're just like
They're
coated
good.
with
I don't know
delicious,
how else to describe it.
amazing
They're yummy.
They're
Fried
curly.
is-
They got that shape.
Tasty.
They're very tasty. It's a tasty treat.
No, yeah, but you don't have to say they are very tasty. They taste like, I don't know, a lot. They
Yeah,
have
like,
they have
it's-
a very strong, unique flavor compared to any other fry, and they're just amazing.
Like, I eat Arby's fries, I get to the end, and I'm sad that I'm at the end of these fries.
Me too.
Yep.
Okay,
Every
I
time.
went to Arby's 2 days ago, and I upgraded to a medium just because I needed a bigger thing of fries. I had
That's
to.
what I did.
I didn't want the drink. The drink was way too big. I didn't want it. I just want the fries.
Exactly.
Like, that's all I want from this place.
But as a tip, you can upgrade just the fries.
Yeah, I know. I will have to do this. Look, what I should do? I should just stock up. We'll just go there and buy like 10 large fries. And just
Is tomorrow another Arby's days? Everyone's got to go to Arby's. Everyone support your local Arby's. We need to keep them going.
It's Arby's Thursday.
We can't see Arby's fall to the wayside. We need those curly fries.
wow.
I was happy when I went to Arby's. There was more people in line, not just me.
Oh, good.
Oh,
You
I
may
gotta
have heard
say,
the news.
when I went to Arby's last week for Arby's Day, me and Rob went, and I got their mint shake, and okay, I still like the Shamrock Shake. I will say this, I still like it, but this was amazing. This fucking oh damn it, this shake.
All right.
Just showing how passionate I am about this shake. It was amazing.
Yeah, like I've heard, like I already ranted about the Shamrock Shake enough, but
Yeah.
my next shake, next time at Burger King, I'm getting their mint shake, and I've heard great things about it. I am looking forward to getting the Burger King mint shake.
The Arby's shake. It was a mint Arby's shake?
Yeah, just a mint shake, and it had some chocolate syrup in it, and some whipped cream
Ooh.
with some like mint chocolate chips. They were like chocolate chips, but also with mint. It was
that sounds
pretty. It
amazing.
was pretty good, and it was like $3.50. It was expensive, but damn, it was good.
Yeah, Shamrock Shake, it's like $3.
All right, everyone. Arby's Day tomorrow. Get
Arby's
yourself a
Day.
mint shake and
Get
some
yourself
curly
some
fries.
Get yourself some shake.
Definitely am. Oh, it's gonna be Arby's for the Maryland game.
Ooh,
Oh, Arby's for the Maryland game.
not a bad call. All right. Just some other things. Just missing the list. We have Popeyes, which I'm personally a big fan of. They were number 2 on my list. Checkers came in next.
Wait, can I give a quick shout out to Checkers? I
Yeah, you
have to
highest on
say
Checkers.
I
Yeah,
haven't
me
had
too.
I actually have not had Checkers in a long time. And back when we were going to Checkers, pretty often, something I always
I
had
went
to
to the
say
grocery
was
store.
I always had to say that, what, their fries were remarkable because they had a similar taste, in my opinion, to curly fries without being curly fries, and they had this great seasoning on them. And something that I
Yeah.
really like about them is that they were definitely unique as well.
Agreed.
And they
My-
also and I loved their mozzarella sticks too because they were basically just their fries but with cheese inside instead, and it was great. Gotta throw a shout out there too.
My problem with Checkers is like Five Guys. I find them to be a bit too greasy.
Yeah, could see that.
So that's
Sometimes
why
you got
that's
them-
why
you could get them
them
nice and
Five
crisp.
Guys drop down my ranks.
Yeah, if you get them nice and crispy sometimes though, and they're pretty damn good.
Chick-fil-A comes in next, like the Ringer list. They had Chick-fil-A fries as the number 1 overall fast food item, and we have them as the number 8 overall fry. So
Yeah.
not really sure what's up with that list. Again, we said everything you need to know about the Chick-fil-A fries in last week's episode. If you want to hear anything else, just go back and listen to that one. KFC Showed up on 3 lists, but at the back end of all of them. Um, Bojangles was number 3 for Jason, but like we said last week.
Okay, I gotta chime in too. Just when I was thinking of my last thing, what my last fry would be, I was happy that I remembered Nathan's fries, put Nathan's up on there, because I haven't had Nathan's fries in a long time, but I definitely remember them very very well because they're crinkle cut fries and they're very different from every other fast food fry, and I like them a lot. And again, they get pretty soggy sometimes, and the soggy ones are no good. But I'm glad I was able to give them a shout out because they're different and unique, and you should try them.
The abbreviation for
All right.